Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining today's session for getting started with BarTender. As you all get settled in, we do have a few housekeeping items before we get started. First of all, this presentation is going to be all in English, and this session is also currently being recorded and will be shared with you, as well as the presentation when we are finished. As you all should know, our topic for today is all about designing labels with BarTender and how to get started on printing your first label. And so I see that we have a good amount of people kind of getting settled in. And so I think we are good to get started. Well, I just want to say again, thank you for joining us today. My name is Ryan Rodriguez, and I am a product marketing manager here at Siegel. With me today is one of our top sales engineers, Stephen Watkins. We have a full agenda for today. First, we're going to provide a quick overview of BarTender for those who may not be super familiar with our products. Then Stephen will show us how we can design and print our first label in only a few minutes, and then we'll finish up with a Q&A and try to answer as many questions as we have time for today. But I do want to make sure you know that if you do have any questions during the presentation, to please use the Q&A function inside the Zoom tool. And that's where we'll find those questions to help answer when we get to that part of the presentation. So with that, let's talk a little bit about BarTender. But before we do, I do want to take a minute just to address, what's currently happening in the current landscape of our supply chain, because it's really no secret that our supply chains have been getting more intricate and more complex over the years, from adding new suppliers, new ways of transporting goods, and so on. There's just a lot of moving parts that have been continuing to get added and really adding more intricacy and complexity to this. And as our supply chains are really becoming more complex and meeting those customer expectations, those same customers are continuing to demand more and more from all of us. And that's really leading to some major challenges across industries because you're expected to accomplish more with fewer hands to support you. You're having to work with little to no certainty of your inventory. And between all of that, you need to quickly resolve disruptions as they arise. And so, really, it's more important than ever to ensure that your operations are both flexible and stable so you can stay competitive in the market. And it really starts with your labeling because you may not realize that labels are really at the heart of your supply chain operations. They let us know everything from where raw materials were sourced to the contents of an order. They help us build our bills of lading, verify our pick lists, and so much more. And really, without putting in place proper labeling, we would have little to no information and have greater difficulty getting our products to market quickly. And really, all of this is to say that labeling really is digital intelligence. And that's where BarTender comes in because BarTender enables that digital intelligence to help you build a smarter supply chain. A lot of the world's most dynamic supply chains really rely on BarTender for our ready to use label design tools, our anywhere, anytime printing capabilities, and our industry leading flexible integrations and database connections, supporting over 250,000 customers across 175 countries. We're really helping businesses of all sizes and industry, supporting their labeling operations to get their products to market quickly. But really, it's more than just a labeling software because BarTender offers a complete ecosystem of labeling experts from printer manufacturers to business applications to our partner resellers. We work with a wide range of industry leading partners to ensure that you build the labeling solution that best fits your specific business needs, no matter where you function within the supply chain. And BarTender is only one arm of Siegel Software focusing on printer management, serialization, and creating digital identities that enable precise labeling and tracking from the start. And meanwhile, Mojix complements this by providing complete item level visibility across the supply chain, ensuring traceability and transparency from source to shelf. And so combining these expertise together, Siegel supports your business needs, enabling operation intelligence and efficiency for managing your assets across the supply chain. And so with that, I'm going to pass it over to Stephen to walk us through how to design and print our first label.
Thank you so much, Ryan. And thank you everybody for being here today. My name is Stephen Watkins II. I'm the sales engineer for the Southeast region of the United States for Seagull Software now. And I wanted to go on ahead and show you how to create your very first label with BarTender Designer. BarTender Designer is what you see on the screen right now. It's going to be your main platform for creating and designing labels of all forms and designs. So it would be a label, be it letterheads, being shipping manifests, it all can be done here. So we're just going to start off step by step. We're going to go with File, and click File, and just go on with New. And when that happens, it's going to bring you up your new document wizard. So it's going to walk you through creating the baseline of your static pieces of your label itself. So from the starting point, you have an option of using a blank template, or you can use a template that we have configured in our library that's available for our customers as well. But today we're just going to use a blank template. Click on Next. So this is where our printer selection comes in. So again, any printer that you have connected to the BarTender network that you're going to see here and ready to go. Now you have a number of different options that I have for our internals, but I'm just going to use a PDF to be good for time today. So I'm going to click Next here. Now, when we go to stock selection, there's two main pieces you have an option for. You can either specify custom settings. So this is where you would go through and manually put in the sizing that you would need for the label, also with the drivers of the printer that you had just selected. Or you can use predefined stock, as I have here. We have one already selected, but you can use A1. We have Avery Standard, Avery International, Hewlett Packard, a number of different ones that are available to you right off the bat. Plus, you can add more as need be. But I will go on ahead and use the A1 that we have here and ready. And not only that, it also shows you the page size that's available. So 8.268 inches by 11.69 inches, and also the template size itself, how much of that page this one label is going to take up, which will be 3.5 by 1.89 inches. And then we're going to go to Next again. Now, this is where your static pieces are going to come in with the template background portion. So you see the three main features we have here. So background features of, say, color. It's going to allow you to fill in the background with a color. If you know that your customer, yourself, whomever you're designing this for, is going to need a certain color in the background, you'd be able to check this box, and you'd be able to, after this, be able to select what color you'd want from a large gradient of colors that are available. Picture. If, say, you have a logo in the background, something that you knew that you always wanted to be there in the background of your label as you're printing it out, just for company pride or for other type of labeling needs, you have that option there. And then the design guide image, there's other images that you can go get from third parties and what have you to put in. We're just going to go with blank today and just a nice white background to keep it simple. And we're going to go next. And now we're finished with this, but you get a summary of what you've already gone through. So you're starting with a blank document. The printer is going to be a PDF printer. The stock name that we're using, which is 28177, address label from A1. The page size itself, as we touched upon, and the template size showing how much of that page you're going to be using size-wise. And then we finish. And that brings up the label that we have here. So today we're going to just create a letterhead, pretty simple letterhead, sending this out, or a letter, sending it out to someone else from your company. So what we're going to start with is just the text boxes. So right here, we've got text. We're going to click the drop down to show the basic text objects and options that we have available to us. So just on a high level, normal will be putting a box in that's just able to be typed, and it will not wrap. It's just going to stretch the lettering as it goes. Normal wrapped will be typed information, and then when the information gets typed at the end of the box, you'll see it will wrap around if you want. Then you can go to word processor, simple font character. Word processors where you have your bullet points and extra pieces that come in, numbered lists. And you can also have some fun with it if you wanted to. You can transform the text with slanting effects, with arching effects, arcing effects, the good old Star Wars style fade back effects if you want to. But we're going to keep it very simple today, and I'll just go with normal wrap. I'm going to click, since I'm now selecting, click it right on the page. And there's a text box. So this is going to be our starting point. We're going to need a few of these for a letter or an envelope. So I'll click number 2 here. And also, instead of going up and clicking on the text box, once you've already got one started, another way to go about it is you can just right click and you can copy. Right click again and just paste it. And then you got another box here. All right. So now we've got our three text boxes, but you know, I think the size is a little bit bigger than I would like. Let's shrink this down. And what I'd want to do is instead of just having all these singularly done, I'd like to align them and do it all at once. So what you can do here is when I first started, I was given a test by one of our senior SEs. How would you move these? And I showed him. I was like, oh, I can just go and grab this here and pop it over here, and I would grab this one and put it there, and it was very intuitive. And I thought it was being completely spot on. He smiled at me kindly and said, no, that's a great way to go about it, but we have another way to go. So what you can do is highlight all three of the boxes, so they're highlighted together, and now they're locked together. And you can use the alignment bar that you have on the right-hand side to do the alignment for you and make things a lot faster. So I'm going to align, this is called align the left sides. I'll click the align left, and that gives us the option to put all of those letters right together and make quick work of jumbled possible lettering spaces, which we wouldn't want to have to do if we didn't have to. So now that these are aligned, I can go and click out. And so we're going to go with, we'll call it Crossroads Pharma. Company address. And the city. Got it. So all three are good to go. It looks nice. The boxes are also a little bit long, so we can adjust the boxes and shorten those up as we need. Now, all right, looking good so far. But the thing is, I don't like the lettering. I've never been a big Calibri fan. Let's go ahead and change that. We'll go on ahead and highlight all three again. Now you can do these one by one if you want to, but this would save time for you. So instead of Calibri, I'll just go on ahead. I'm a big fan of Baskerville. Baskerville Old Face. And that'll change all of them that we need. Also, I think the lettering is a little bit big for my tastes. So instead of that, while we've got them all highlighted and locked, we'll just go ahead and bring them down to 8. That's much better sizing. Bring them together. All right. Now we got the lettering more in line of where we wanted to go with our letter. Like that. Right. You know what else we should use? We need our company logo. That's what we need. So I can go on ahead and go for an image or a picture that we have available to us, and I'll just insert from file, and got one right here. Pop this on in. Let's move these just a little bit. All right. Our letter in, our image in, shrink her down to size. Nice. Okay. Letters in. All right, so we've got our company logo. We've got our address. Now we need to know who it's going to go to. So I'll go on ahead and we'll go with one more text box. Make a clean one here. So we'll send it out to our customer. All right. And Phoenix. All right. Let's make sure to line this center so it's exactly where it needs to be. Good deal. Now we've got our address available. We've got our symbology available. Another, you know what? We need intelligent mail symbology. We're going to use USPS intelligent mail for sending this out since this is going to be a letter. I'm going to send this and pop it right in. And again, we'll center it with our alignment bar. Now on this one, we're going to go and right click and go into properties because we want to make sure we have embedded data. It looks like it's just a 10, but for where we're going, and keep careful attention on the barcode itself. 77. As you can tell, when I made the adjustments, it showed and switched the barcode itself. So now that you know that the label itself has received information and you know that it's going to be going to the right place, not just with a 10. And lastly, just because we're going with PDF and I want to show a little bit better, you know what? I will go on ahead and I'm going to add a border. So I'm going to create one new layer here on the side. In the new layer, we're going to go ahead and add a shape. We'll just use a rounded style rectangle. Just adjust it as we need. Good deal. So now we've got a border showing the lines and the edges of the letter that we've made. We've got our company and our logo that we're sending out from. We have the customer that we're sending to. Let's take a look at how this is going to look when we're through and we print it out. We'll go with a print preview here in the left-hand corner. And that's how it's going to look on the page before. So I will close this. Or actually, instead of closing it, we can actually print right from here if we like what we got. So I'll just go ahead and now print the PDF and ask we're ready. Gives the option of copies. If you want to do several, you have that option too. And we'll print, just call the name PDF printer itself, and we're printing out. All right. Looks like we printed. Let's go take a look at that and see what we got. And as you can see with the PDF, here is our finished letter that we're able to send out as soon as we're ready to send our product to the customer. And that is our quick high level of starting off with a label and designing from start to finish and being able to send it right out the door. Thank you so much. And Ryan, I'm going to hand that back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephen, for that. That was great. And just very easy to see how simple it can be to quickly design and really print that first label. But everything we just saw is available in all editions of BarTender. BarTender is available in 4 editions that can support any business of any size across any industry, from a small business to a Fortune 100 enterprise. So everything we just saw was really featured in the starter edition, that offers right out of the box label design and printing tools to help you get started in just a few minutes, as we just witnessed. The professional edition introduces more dynamic database connectivity that helps to simplify your template management and mobilize your label printing workforce with remote label printing. The automation edition helps you save time and resources by streamlining your workflows with flexible integrations and automated processes. And then the enterprise edition supports your full mission critical operation labeling operations by delivering enterprise-wide control to streamline your teams and increase accountability and enable traceability. And so if you're really not sure which edition is best for your application, we're more than happy to help you. But please stay tuned for more of our Getting Started with BarTender webinars, where we'll continue exploring more of these BarTender capabilities and show you how to build a smarter labeling operation. And along with that, we also just released the latest version of BarTender, BarTender 11.4, a few months ago. The latest version introduces greater flexibility for scaling businesses while helping you continue to meet your compliance needs. This can be seen through driverless remote printing from the new Print Portal One driver, simplified regulatory compliance from the centralized bartender common template library, which offers new and up-to-date pre-built templates that are updated instantly as soon as new regulatory mandates are introduced or current regulations are updated. And we have also introduced support now for .NET 8 and Windows Server 2025. So if you're not running on BarTender 11.4, you're really starting to miss out on some industry-leading features and capabilities, especially if you're on one of the older versions seen here. And if you're not sure where to get started with your software version update, we have plenty of options to help you. But the number one thing is to make sure you're on an active maintenance and support plan, whether that's with an agreement or a subscription. So the first option is to make sure you renew your maintenance and support. Or another option to make sure that you have that maintenance and support is to take advantage of the BarTender License Flex program, which is the number one option to help you save money on your labeling while helping you scale with cheaper upfront costs for add-ons and upgrades. Additionally, if you have several bartender licenses, I highly suggest consolidating those licenses to help you simplify your labeling management and potentially get more from bartender with a higher edition. But if you'd rather have someone else take care of your software update and not think about it really, that's no problem. Our professional services team is more than happy to help you with an upgrade assessment so you know what you need in order to do it yourself, or simply just let our experts do it. That's fine too. And if you're not super familiar with the License Flex program, it's a fairly simple program that allows you to save money on your labeling costs and easily scale, as I mentioned, with cheaper upgrades and add-ons. The program is available for all bartender customers who want to move their license to subscription so they can access those cheaper options that are available for them. Most customers can expect to see an average of 17% savings through the program versus renewing their maintenance and support agreement annually. Some additional benefits do include adding and removing printers whenever you need, staying current on the latest bartender product updates. So as we continue to roll out new features and capabilities, you have immediate access to download and update to those latest versions. You can also maintain the license that you already have, so you don't have to worry about getting a new license in its entirety. You can also avoid all reactivation fees from any lapsed maintenance that you may have with a 3-year agreement. And you automatically get extended support if you're running on BarTender 2019 because that did just reach end of support back in April. So you would have that extended support all the way till April 30th of next year. And additionally, if you don't want to wait, you don't, yeah, if you want to move to the program now, you don't have to wait till your next renewal period. If you have any active maintenance remaining, those months will simply just roll over on top of your agreement. So, for example, if you have a 6-month contract remaining and you want to join the program with a 1-year agreement, you will actually have an 18-month contract. So, again, you do not lose those months remaining in your contract if you want to join the program today. So if you're interested, please reach out to your bartender authorized reseller or get in touch with our Siegel sales team. And so with that, we're actually going to move now into our Q&A session. So I'm going to open up our Q&A and we'll get started. So Stephen, the first question. So as you were designing the label, you were moving a lot of the objects with your keyboard mouse, or sorry, with your mouse. But we have a question here about can you use the keyboard arrow keys to move the fields gradually rather than, just using the mouse?
Oh, did you hear my answer?
Oh, no, sorry, I didn't hear it.
No, no problem. It was no problem. I said yes, you can. It's just I know they're talking about kind of gradients, minute movement when they're when something is selected. So yes, if you select a certain box that you were using, yes, you can use the mouse keys And the arrow, or not the mouse keys, but the arrow keys to pull them up, down, and sideways. Absolutely.
Awesome. Yes. Um, yeah. Another question we have here is how do you show dual labels to edit in the template?
How do you show dual labels?
I think they're saying they're asking like is can you create or work on two separate label templates at the same time?
Absolutely. You can open another one. You can, there's a couple ways of going about it. You can open another BarTender Designer instance. You have that option, or you can actually open up another tab while you're in one bartender, and you can switch between the tabs in bartender. You can have multiple tabs open as you're running with BarTender Designer. So yes, so both of those options are available.
Awesome. Yeah, the other question is does bartender support RFID?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Usually the thing that dictates the RFID when you're doing it is the printer driver itself. If the printer is not set up for RFID, you'll just basically get, it'll say none supported by current printer under encoders, or then you'll click on, and then watermarks and Digimark will be available there after the fact. But yes, if it's an RFID printer, there's a number of companies that obviously have them. The drivers will show that it's enabled to do that, and bartender will recognize that with the drivers.
Awesome.
Hello, what have we here?
So a question here about flex licensing. Um, so yes, with the license flex program, the question is about adding or removing printers, how flexible is it? So basically, yes, you can during your period, you can always add any printers during at any time to your license. You don't have to wait till your next renewal period. We can easily get those co-termed so that they're all that so that the terms will start and end at the same time as the rest of your printer, so we can work with you on that. But yeah, you can also again remove any printers as well with through the program as well. So it works similarly as your current licensing, just that it's a little bit more flexible where you can continue to add without having to wait till your next renewal period. There's a question here about demonstrating with Bartender Cloud. So we will have a separate webinar to show you all about Bartender Cloud and how you can get started with that solution as well. So please stay tuned for that session as we will be having that here pretty soon in the next couple months. Stephen, is it possible to upload your own symbols to Bartender?
Yes, there are several um, there are several symbologies that can be uploaded if you need to. I made sure to take one of these, just kind of this is a generalized, open licensed image that I have right here. But yes, you can upload images with no problem at all,
Great.
and symbols too. Yes.
And that's the same too for can a symbol be imported in a vector format?
I will get back to them on that one. I'm pretty sure, but I won't say anything else. But I will double check on that one. But I'm positive I know the answer on that. But I will check one other thing.
Got it. This question, do we need any other applications to design a label? And I'll answer that the question is absolutely not. No, you can just use, or you if you are working with BarTender Designer, you all that's all you need in order to design and print your labels for your labeling needs. All right. We have a we don't have a lot of time left. So this last question here, Stephen, just there's a lot about just kind of printer needs. So I'll just ask a general question of what printers can I use with BarTender, or does BarTender really support what kind of printers does BarTender support?
BarTender supports, actually, we are pretty proud to have over 10,000 Windows-based drivers for BarTender printers at this point. We're getting to the point where it's actually harder to find printers that we don't work with, or easier to find printers we don't work with versus the ones that we do. So what you'd want to do is you can go to, Seagull Sign or SeagullSoftware.com. You can look up the printers there and you can see which ones that we have available. And if for some reason we didn't see one in the list there, you can actually put in a request for a driver for the printers themselves. And also for the fact, I mean, we're very proud of our printer driver team. We actually design printer drivers for companies and people that aren't even using BarTender, that they can come on in and just pull the drivers down themselves and use them as need be. You don't actually even have to be a BarTender customer with that. We appreciate it and love it, but that is not a prerequisite.
Awesome. No, thank you for that. And I know that there's a lot more questions, but unfortunately we are at time, so we will follow up separately for the questions that we did not have time to hit today. But again, I just want to thank you all for joining us. I hope you learned a thing or two from today's presentation. If you're interested in learning more about BarTender or updating your software or even joining the License Flex program, please connect with your reseller or the Siegel sales team, and you can also get started with a 30-day free trial. We also have a lot of additional resources for you that we'll share with inside the presentation that will also be shared with you after we're done here. But again, that's all we have time for today. Please stay tuned for more Getting Started with BarTender webinars, where we'll continue to go over a lot of these other features such as database connectivity and creating more specific compliance labels that you're needing within your specific industry or standard, and other capabilities. But again, thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everyone.